Hi, this is Ms. Lavodi, and in this video, I'll be showing you how to create digital continuous line portraits. We'll begin by importing your first portrait into Tayasui Sketches Pro. To import, click the three dots at the top and then click Photo to select your image. You see the three dots at the top of the screen, click the down arrow, click Photo. Find your first portrait photograph. Click the check mark at the bottom after you've scaled your image up. Tap your layers icon and then tap the gear icon on your photo. Find the opacity slider and make your image more transparent looking so your photograph will be lighter. In the layers side menu, click the plus sign and add a layer over your photo. We always want to draw on a separate layer, never directly on top of your photograph. So here I've clicked the plus sign. I now have a blank layer on top of my photo. I can now select a drawing tool. I chose my first brush as a marker tool and I picked a thick brush size. I use a chisel tip style marker. On your screen you'll see two sliding scales. The top dot slider is for the opacity and the bottom slider is to change your brush size. So this makes my brush size bigger or smaller, and the top one will make my brush more see-through, but I want to keep my transparency or opacity at 100. Now I can pinch and zoom in as much as I need so I can see my image. I'll be tracing around the details of my portrait using the brush I selected. If you're trying to draw with a real continuous line without lifting your finger or stylus off the screen, it might release and make a straight line. For the purpose of this drawing, you can start and stop a line and continue where you left off instead of never lifting your finger or stylus off the screen. Remember, in a continuous line drawing, the lines are supposed to be connected and create shapes in the portrait and capture details. It has a particular style that you're trying to achieve. Think of it like a blind contour drawing, but with being able to look at the drawing surface. So here I've zoomed in and I'm starting to now trace and create a connected style line to draw the details of the portrait. I can start and stop where I left off, and I can use the backwards button on the top left menu to go back if I need to redo something. In your layers box, you can click the eye icon so that way you can hide the photo layer and see what your drawing looks like. Now you're ready to add a portrait from a different angle or perspective. You're going to repeat the steps you followed at the beginning of this video. And see what my contour line drawing looks like by itself without the photograph underneath it. Now I'm repeating the process of importing my photograph. I'm going to select the next perspective of a portrait. I'm going to move and place it in the area I'd like it to go and click the check mark at the bottom of the screen to place it. Then I'm going to select a different brush and I will add a new layer above this photo with the plus sign. So that way I can then lower the opacity of the photo and be able to draw over it. This time I'll draw with a thinner style brush, so I'll have a different point. Now you can begin your continuous line drawing of this portrait. So once again, I'm tracing and finding all of the details and using one line to try to connect all of the parts of the drawing together to give it that particular look. What my drawing looks like when I hide the portrait picture underneath my drawing layer. Now I can repeat the process that I did in the last two portraits to bring in my third and final portrait. There should be another portrait from a different point of view or perspective. So I'm bringing this photo in, I've placed it where I want it, and now I have a different style line and line thickness that I can use to trace this drawing. I'm going to try to pick up and leave off where I start and stop a line. And remember, I want to connect this line so it has that blind contour kind of style.